We are going to show you everything you need to know about saddle hunting.
So the first thing you're going to do when you get your saddle is just open it up, unfold it, and you're going to look at the different features of it in here. And to put the saddle on, what you're going to do is you're going to step in between the steel bridge rope and the waist belt so that the saddle encompasses your entire body, and pull it up to waist height. At that point, you're going to connect your freedom belt. This belt is adjustable so you can center the buckle to the center of your waist, but you're going to attach that and cinch it to your hips, and that's going to allow the saddle to ride on your hips.
How tight do you want it, Ernie?
I generally do it about as tight as you would do a belt.
Okay.
Right? You're not going to try and suffocate yourself, but you need it to be solid enough that it holds everything in place.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, after that...
Got my belt on, it feels secure.
Yep, you stored your slack. We're good there.
Good to go.
Now you're going to grab the leg straps. They're between your legs. You're going to reach down in between your legs and grab the buckles. This particular saddle has T-hooks on it, and you're going to arrange them in your hands so that when you take the right-hand strap and put it on the right-hand side of your body and put it into the loop, the hook is facing down. You want gravity to help keep that into place.
Got it. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, come in from the top,
yep.
Drop it in, and how tight do I want these?
Again, just snug enough. You're not trying to cinch off anything. You just want it to kind of hold things into place.
Okay, so I got a little bit of extra slop here. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
You need the ability to move and maneuver in the tree, so you don't want to have it super tight.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Then same thing here.
Same thing on the other side.
Drop this one in.
Yep, and adjust that for your
snug
distance.
her down.
Perfect. If your saddle comes with any kind of a yoke or suspenders, you would want to put those on, and that's just going to help suspend everything and take the weight off of your hips. This particular model doesn't have them. We'll address that in a different video.
Now what's this and what do I do with it?
All right, so this is your bridge, and this is your main attachment component to the tree. You're going to have a tether that goes around the tree with a carabiner, and that's going to clip into here, and this is going to be your main connection between you and the tree.
And this has got some kind of fancy knot here. What's this for?
Simple adjustment. So what this allows you to do is you can either shrink or expand this bridge to adjust for your comfort, or as you're walking in and out of the woods, it's good to pull all the slack out of here, and then you can store this in different places in a pocket, wrap it around and tie it, but it just takes all those little pieces that can get hung up on brush and gets it out of your way.
Yeah, this feels really compact, and then I see these hanging off. What are these for?
So those are your lineman loops. Those will be used for climbing, and what that does is there's a separate rope that will attach to your loops. It goes around the tree, and it gives you a solid connection to the tree, so as you're putting your climbing sticks on, adjusting your platform, doing those types of things, you're rigidly connected at the hips. It gives you hands-free attachment to the tree so that you can use both your hands to do the work you're doing.
Now, where do you put on your saddle? Do you put it on at the tree when you're ready to hunt? Do you put it on at the truck and walk in with it? What do you do?
It really depends on how far I'm walking.
Okay.
On a short walk, I'll put it all on at the truck, walk in, put it in. But if I'm hiking kind of a long ways, I like to put it all in my backpack just to make it easier, and I'll put it on at the base of the tree. A lot of times I got to take my backpack off at the base of the tree to get my sticks off and to get myself organized anyways, so to take the extra step to pull my saddle out isn't a big deal for me.
Okay, cool. So we're here at the tree, we're ready to hunt. We got our saddle on. What do we do next?
Okay, so you're going to need a lineman and something to climb the tree with. We use sticks. Let's get you a set of sticks and a lineman.
Okay.
All right, when you receive your lineman's rope out of the package, it's going to come just like this. It's got a spliced eye on one end and an adjustable prusik on the other with a carabiner attached to the prusik. This is your main connection at this point. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install it onto your saddle.
And this prusik knot, it kind of works the same way as our bridge, right?
Exact same.
You slide up, slide down, adjust it, and then when you weight it, it grabs.
Correct.
Okay.
So the big thing here is going to be probably dependent on if you're right or left-handed. For myself, being right-handed, I like to keep the adjustment on the right-hand side of the tree. So I would attach the spliced eye to the left-hand side of my saddle.
I do it the same way. I'm right-handed, but I go left to right.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go over here to our lineman's loop, and what you're going to do is you're going to feed the spliced eye through, and then take the tail end of your rope and pull it through, and you're going to create a girth hitch around that lineman's loop on your saddle. And what that does is it provides a permanent attachment that is going to keep that rope always there. It's going to keep it attached. You don't have to worry about it. And when you get done or at the end of the hunt, you can store that and keep it girth hitched right onto your lineman's
Does that look right?
It looks perfect. Yep, you're good.
So then to use it,
Yep, so now you're gonna
you would set
wrap
it around
the tree.
Yep.
Exactly. You're gonna clip that into the other side of your lineman.
Okay, this other big loop here.
Yep.
Do I need to lock the carabiner? Does it matter?
Yep, you should lock it at every time.
So lock it, okay.
Yep, exactly like that. And then you're gonna adjust that. And I like to keep about 10 to 12 inches between my belly and the tree.
So maybe about right here? Does that look
that
about
seems
right?
about right, because that's
Okay.
going to give you room that you can work to put your sticks on in the middle. It's going to give you the ability to adjust, but it doesn't create such a big gap that you're leaning way off of the tree, or if you happen to misstep, it limits your ability to slide or fall.
Got it, okay.
Yep, so the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to attach a climbing stick.
Okay.
So this is our Skeletor stick.
And do you attach them all as you climb? Do you do them from the ground? How do you do it?
Me personally, I generally will set the first two from the ground.
Yep, okay.
Because I can generally reach. I can put one here and I can put one a little higher. I can get my first two sticks on the ground.
Okay.
And then I'll put the rest of them on as I climb.
All right, how high should I set this first stick?
It's kind of going to depend on how high you can pick up your leg. But generally, the TMA says you're going to want to stay into that 18 inches step range. So
yeah.
About this is going to be good, because that's a good 18 inches from your step to the ground.
Yep.
And that's going to be a good starting point.
I've found as a good rule of thumb, about knee height is about right. So I kind of measure it like where my knee is, and I know that's about, for me, where I can go. So
sure.
I'll just bring it around and lock the step off. And then you're saying we should go ahead and do the other one, right?
And this one you're going to probably set about as high as you can reach.
Yep. Well, and another trick, these steps are 18 inches, right? So you can kind of gauge it here.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then you kind of have a starting point of where you want to go. Throw that on
And because
there.
this is easier to do from the ground, I just like to set my first two from the ground.
Okay, so I'm going to set those, lock them off, throw a half hitch in there, and we are good.
Yep. Don't forget to pull the base of this out as you're setting it.
Okay, pull base, set the stick,
Perfect.
pull these down, and we are now got our first two sticks on the tree.
Yep.
Cool.
Perfect.
Then we'd rinse and repeat all the way up.
Correct. Except for you're going to be doing it in the air with your lineman's loop. So let's do a practice climb of getting onto your first stick. Put the rope around the tree.
Okay. All right. Lock that
That
carabiner.
looks like it's going to be good shape.
So I'm safe.
Yep. So
Okay.
you're going to advance the rope up high.
Yep. Got it.
And now take a step.
Okay.
And as you get up there, then you're going to advance the rope
just
up
advance
again.
the rope up.
Yep.
And kind of just go.
And you want to keep that rope as high as you can. You don't want it to fall below level. Right?
Like this.
So the idea is to keep this thing so that it's at least flat, if not. And you're noticing now that as you're climbing, the diameter of the tree is getting smaller. At that point, you're going to need to
I could tighten my belt up.
Correct.
Got
You're
it.
going to want to cinch that up a little bit to keep that 12-inch gap that we maintained at the bottom.
Okay. Now what about coming down? Anything different?
It's the same process coming down. So you're going to bring it down, bring your rope down, not below you, but about halfway.
Right about here?
Yep. And then
Okay.
step down.
All right.
Yep.
And then just
bring
do
it
the
down.
same thing?
Same thing again.
Okay. I can do that.
Step down.
Okay.
And at this point, you can just step right to the ground.
Well, that's pretty easy.
Yeah. And the ability of, once you've got this lineman's ropes on here, and even if you're standing on a stick, you can lean into that rope and it gives you hands-free attachment so that you can move and adjust your sticks.
Awesome. All right, Ernie. So I've climbed the tree. We're going to pretend I'm 15 feet high, and I'm ready to set my platform. I'm ready to hunt. What
Yep.
do I do next?
So envision you're standing on a stick. You've got one stick above you. That's your last stick. This is at your climbing height. You'll notice that we added cis haulers to the saddle here. This gives us the ability to carry our ropes up and down in the tree, and where this will become important is when we go to put our tether and our things on. But right now, you're at height. This is your final height where you're going to be. You're on a stick. Your lineman is supporting you. You got both hands to work with. Next thing is to do is to install your platform.
Okay.
Again, this comes down to, are you right or left-handed? So for you, you're going to put that platform on the left side of your sticks.
That's
For
right.
me, I'm going to put it on the other side.
Yep.
Which is weird. I'm right-handed, but I shoot left-hand eye dominant. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap the cam buckle strap around the tree.
Okay. And there's several options for strapping and stuff, right? Like you can kind of do what you want.
Correct. So we've got cam buckle straps, we've got Versalinks, there's different ways of doing this. We've got our dam ropes, there's different things that you can do for attaching your platforms.
Okay.
But they all come down to you're gonna wrap it around the tree and attach it on and then tighten it up.
And it's pretty simple. I mean, like this cam buckle strap, it doesn't really get any more simple, right? You just loop it, make sure it's level as best you can, pull the slack out, get it all set, get it nice and level best you can, and then do you set it like this? Do you close it? What do you do?
Well, first things first, I'm going to do exactly like you've got here so that I have my platform level with my last stick.
Okay.
And that's going to be on either your strong or weak side, depending on how you want to set things up, so that you've got one more step as you can pivot around the tree, and it helps to give you that ring of steps feel without having to carry a ring of steps.
Then you've got level adjustments on our platforms too, right? So you can kind of adjust it. Okay.
So at this point, you're going to kind of test fit. How are we sitting? Are we level? Are we not? And if you're not level, you can then make that adjustment into the bolt here. And what you're going to do at that point is fold this up.
Fold it up.
Yep.
Take the slack out, right?
Yep.
As
Take
much
the slack
as I can.
out.
Okay.
Make your adjustment onto your bolt here.
All right, I got it as tight as I can get it.
Yep.
Now
and
what's
then
next?
I'm going to tighten this up just a little bit.
Okay.
Then you're going to get that as tight as you can, and then you're going to fold this down, kind of push it down a little bit if you can.
Okay.
So that you're getting some of the slack out of that strap, and then you're going to use the teeth to force that platform into position.
Got it.
And lock it in there. And I like to have it so that the platform goes just over center, and you're going to feel it kind of pop a little bit as it gets past center. If it's too far up, sometimes it'll want to kind of pop up on you.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring this screw in just a little more so that when this goes through, it locks in, pops in over center, and that's going to make it hold a lot better.
Got it.
All right, so at this point, we're going to climb up to where we can get onto the platform. What you're going to want to do is advance your lineman up and above the platform, and you may have to fold it up to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
And then
climb
just,
up onto your last
just
stick.
climb up.
Correct.
Got it. Advance my rope.
Keep going up.
Okay. Come
And
all the
you're
way
gonna
up to the top, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, now take some slack out of your linemans. Perfect.
Got it.
All right. Now at this point, you're going to want to install your tether.
Which
and
lives...
since you're at your hunting height, you're going to install the tether at where you would normally do. So
Okay.
for a lot of guys, it's kind of chest to eyeball height.
And I always keep my tether in my sys hauler right here, so it's just nice and easy to pull out.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. So now I just put it around.
Wrap it around the tree and then feed the tail end through the loop. You're going to basically girth hitch around the tree.
Okay. Just like this.
Yep. Feed that tail through.
Got it.
Get that cinched.
Where
on
do
there
I
real
want
good.
this height at?
So a lot of guys like to put it, you know, between your chest and your forehead is
Okay.
kind of where that's going to end up.
Okay.
Now, one thing that can be useful is you can adjust whether your splice die is facing to the right or the left to account for a little bit of a lean in a tree, and we'll kind of go over that here later. But for now, we're on a pretty straight tree, so it's fairly simple.
Now, what about my bridge, Ernie? How much space do I want to come? Do I want to be really tight with the bridge? Do I want to be really all the way open? What do I want to do?
So for the purpose of this, we're going to open it all the way up.
All the way up. Okay.
Yep, we're going to open it all the way up, and then we'll adjust for comfort once we get into the tree. So you're going to clip into your
Clip into my carabiner.
lock your carabiner.
Lock it.
Yep. And now what you're going to do is kind of take the slack out on it. Now put some weight into this.
Okay.
And you're just going to kind of test and make sure that everything is rigid and holding
Okay.
with your rope before you step onto your platform.
Okay.
Okay. And now you can slowly swing over and stand onto your platform because you know that you've got your safety attachment in place so that if you had done anything wrong with setting your platform and it gives you issues, you're connected and safely attached with your tether. So swing around
And I've
onto the
got this
platform.
backup in my lineman rope.
Correct. You're double attached right now.
So I can swing over.
Yep.
Okay,
Again,
feel good.
Now you're going to just put some weight on everything, make sure everything feels right. And this is where you might want to adjust the length of that bridge.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I can tighten it up a little bit. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
If everything feels comfortable, this is where you're going to go ahead and disconnect your lineman's loop and store it in that sys hauler.
Okay. So I'm just going to unbuckle that from my thing here, pass the rope around.
So yes, you're going to want to store it right there in your sys hauler, and that leaves it permanently attached to your saddle so you can use it for your descent. You're not going to accidentally drop it. You're not going to have any issues. And then in the event that you do fall off of your platform or have any issues, it can double as a suspension relief strap in that scenario. And we'll go over that here in a bit.
Okay. So Ernie, I'm hunting now, right? I've got my I've got my ropes, I'm connected, I'm safe, I got my platform, I can shoot. Is there anything I should do to this platform to make it permanent, or should I leave it just the way it is, or what should I do?
At this point, a lot of times you're gonna, by putting weight on the platform, you're going to have taken some of the slack and stretch out of the strap, and it's gonna feel a little squishy.
Okay.
This is where we're gonna tow hook our platform and get it to be a more rigid attachment. You know that you've got full rigid attachment to your hips, so you can actually put all your weight into your saddle and take your feet right off the platform if you want. So you're holding on there. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna put one foot on top of the standoff on top.
Okay.
And then reach down with your toe on the others and pull the platform up.
Like that?
Yep. Put a little weight on here, bring that down, and now put your weight back on the platform and reset it with your full weight.
Oh man, you can really feel it grab when you do that. Holy cow.
Yeah, so now you're gonna have the most rigid attachment for your platform, and it's gonna hold you where you need to be.
Yeah, that feels awesome. All right, Ernie, I went ahead and put my pack on, so it's a little bit more realistic, like a hunting scenario. So I'm here, I'm on the platform, it's secured, we've tow hooked it, I'm tethered in, I've taken off my lineman belt, I'm basically ready to hunt, but I still got a pack on, I don't have a weapon. What do I do next?
That's where we bring in the hitch strap.
Okay.
This is a Tethrd product, but it's just the best thing out there for what you're gonna be doing for storing gear in a tree saddle hunting.
I'll swing around and show the viewer here. So this is my cis hauler here, and I've got the hitch strap put into this cis hauler.
Yep.
Okay.
And so you're gonna install the hitch strap similar to how you did your tether.
Okay.
There's a loop on one end.
Okay.
And you're gonna feed the tail around the tree
All
and
right.
put the loop, or the tail through the loop and kind of cinch it down.
Okay. So this loop here you're talking about?
That's correct. Yep,
and I just feed this tail through there?
Correct.
Okay. I can do that.
And again, here's where you get to do a little bit of preference. Some people like to put it above their tether. Some people like to put it below. Again, that's going to be just a matter of where you like to hold your gear.
Okay. So what do you think about that right there? Does that look good?
It does. So what I want to point out is with you being a right-handed shooter, you're generally going to hang your backpack on the right-hand side of the tree. And this is perfect because you're going to put that tail on the right-hand side of your tree.
Okay.
Once you've got this generically positioned, you're going to take the orange lock strap.
Yep.
Take the T-hook, hook it into one of the loops on the tree, or
Okay.
on the hitch strap, and then cinch it tight.
And as tight as I can get it.
Yep, and so that's gonna provide a safety lock and also keep that top strap tight even when the weight of your backpack's been removed.
Great. So now I've got my hitch strap all connected and I'm ready to put my pack there.
Correct. So you're gonna take your pack and you're
just
gonna
use
put
a little S-beaner for that?
Correct, just a little S-beaner.
Okay.
And on your pack, you're gonna have a handle right above the shoulder straps, and you're just gonna clip right into that piece there.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
gonna put your backpack right at accessible height. And what I will a lot of times do is open up the top flap just enough to create a shelf so that I can store some stuff on there or access the inside of my pack during a hunt.
And then from here, with this hitch strap, I can take, if I've got binos, a grunt call, rattling antlers, whatever accessories I might need, I can either keep them in the pack or I can put them on the tree.
Correct.
And organize my gear the way that makes sense.
Yep, the way that makes sense for you.
Okay.
I personally, like I said, I fold the top of my pack in a little bit, create a shelf, and I just lay my binoculars right on top of that shelf.
Awesome. All right, Ernie, so I'm at the tree, I'm safe, I'm tethered, I've got my gear ready to go, it's in the right position, I'm ready to hunt, I've got my grunt call ready, my binos ready, I'm ready to hunt. So what do I do? How do I get my weapon?
So now you're gonna pull your bow up.
Okay.
Hopefully you would have attached a bow rope to the bottom.
Yep.
And pull your bow up.
Okay.
This is a traditional bow, but same thing goes for any kind of a compound bow, crossbow, and even a rifle. If you're out rifle hunting, you're going to be able to pull it up with your retrieval rope.
And then I just use the hitch strap to hang the bow, right?
Correct. So on this particular bow, we've installed a quick draw. It's modified into the quiver that allows you to just hang the quick draw right onto the hitch strap. But our quick draw can go on a compound bow right onto the sight and allow you to do that. Or if you're hunting with a crossbow or a rifle, that's where our fold and go system would go into place. It gives you a little bit bigger hook that you can hang your rifle sling off of or hang your crossbow.
And it seems pretty important which side you put the weapon on the tree, right? I'm right-handed, so I want it on the left-hand side of the tree.
Correct. And I like to set mine so that if I can put like a punch forward, I'm going to go right into the riser handle so that I don't have to reach up or down. I can stay concealed behind the tree and I can just slowly reach forward and grab the riser.
Perfect. Yeah, so mine's at about shoulder height. So not horrible. Okay? Now what? I'm hunting.
Yeah. Which for you, your hunt's over.
So we're hunting, and then just maybe let's walk through just real quick, Ernie, because we've got other videos on how to shoot in detail. But walk me through the basic shots for this setup.
Sure. So one thing I like to look at if I'm going to be positioning and moving around the tree is I like to keep my heel just off of the edge. That's going to allow me to utilize the traction on the edge of the platform, and it's going to give me the easiest way to maneuver around here.
Okay.
And so the easiest shot for you is just going to be your strong side shot, which is where you are right now. And that's going to be basically right here. So when you imagine yourself shooting on the ground, you want to keep your arm perpendicular to your body, everything straight this way. It's no different in the saddle. So when you grab that bow and move it out to your side, this is your line. Your tether is coming forward like this. If you start trying to twist and get tied up into your tether, that's going to be a problem. And that's when you want to move your body. So if I'm shooting right here and I need to shoot there, I'm going to rotate my whole body instead of rotating just my hips and through the ropes, because that's it gets me all tied up.
Yeah, and I'm noticing here that if you think about it from a clock, 12 o'clock is that way, 6 o'clock is this side. From I can easily shoot from 1 o'clock, you know, just by rotating like you talked about. I can pretty much shoot half the clock pretty easily.
Yeah, without having to do a whole lot of maneuvering of your feet and etc. But it doesn't mean you don't have access to the rest of the clock.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, how would I shoot over here then? Because that seems like a little bit of a harder shot. What would I do?
So what you're going to want to do, just like I had mentioned, keep your heels off the edge, and you're going to slowly walk around this way, keeping your weight in your rope and keeping your heels on the edge, and you're going to walk all the way around. Keep going, keep going.
Got it.
And at this point, you're going to pivot your hips and allow that bridge to slide through your carabiner. You're going to pivot your right hip toward the tree.
So I'm going to take this prusik knot and put it up close to the carabiner?
Correct, but you're not going to move the prusik. You're going to pivot like so.
Like that, okay.
Yep.
All right,
and then take your thigh and lean it into the tree here a little bit.
Got it.
That gets you stable.
Okay.
And now you've got the ability to shoot all the way. That gives you another 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And by putting a little more pressure on your left foot here, you can actually push back enough to get a little more.
Look at there. So I can pretty much, so I'm going to do this slowly just so people can see. So I'm here. I can slowly rotate without really too much movement by trusting my tether and my platform, and I can spin all the way around.
Pivot your hips.
Pivot my hips.
The edge.
And now, just with I'm all the way back.
Yeah, so you've actually covered 360 degrees around the tree. Keeping your feet on a 12-inch platform, like I said, keeping your heels on the outside edge, pivoting your hips at the right time, and you can get that maneuver around the tree.
Now, does that change with different size trees, or is that pretty much, you can always do that, or?
Well, obviously, if the tree is too big, which we like to say keep your tree in the size of a basketball, as a tree gets bigger, obviously you're not going to be able to swing as far around.
Yeah.
And that's where having this extra step becomes useful, because now you've got one more step that you can step on.
So I could
off the platform.
I could use this like a little platform extension.
Yes, exactly.
And swing around even more.
Yep.
Makes sense. Okay. So, great. So now I'm done hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hand you the bow. We're going to pretend I just dropped it down.
Yep.
Now what do I do? How do I get down safely?
Okay, so we're just going to do everything in reverse.
Okay.
So first things first, you're going to put your lineman back on.
Okay. And I should just follow the same procedure, throw it around the tree, hook it on.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to go, can I put the pack on or no?
Yeah, if you want to. It's just, I like to put my lineman on first, but
okay.
either way.
We'll do it that way. All right, so we're going to put the pack on.
That way you've got double safety when you're trying to swing the pack around.
There we go. Perfect. All right, so we're going to put the lineman belt on first. I'll lock that in. Okay, now what? My lineman belt's on, and it's I'm going to take some of that slack out. Okay, now what?
And at this point, I would go ahead and put my pack on. You're going to take it off of the strap.
All right. Got it.
Yep. Uninstall your hitch strap.
Uninstall my hitch strap. I can do that. Do you normally just throw this down to the ground and put it away
put
then?
It right back into my pocket, right on top.
Okay, right back into your pocket.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, got it.
Now step over and onto your climbing stick.
Okay. All right. So now I can feel the weight of my tether and in my lineman belt. Should I change that? Should I put more into
This is
what
the
should I
point
do?
where you can actually work on disconnecting your your tether altogether.
Okay, so just maybe take some slack and then release
Yep.
it.
Yeah, except for your lineman.
So I got to keep this up, right?
Yep.
And then give me some slack so I can release that from the bridge, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, and so now all my weight is in the lineman belt.
Correct.
Okay.
And go ahead and just take that tether off.
Okay.
You're going to put it back into the sys hauler pocket.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead and, just like we had talked about before, when you're descending, take a step down, then advance your rope.
Okay. About like that?
Yep.
And then just come all the
I
way
would
down.
take it one more down, so you're on the next step down.
Okay.
And at this point, your platform is at a good working height for you to go ahead and take your platform off of the tree.
Okay. So then I'm standing on my next step, and I'm assuming I just kind of go the reverse process,
Correct.
right?
Lift that up,
Okay.
loosen the cam buckle, and that'll allow you to get the straps off.
Pop that off. And then what would you do with this, Ernie?
So there's a couple of different things you can do. You can lower it down using a rope. You can put it back into the Predator pack holder on your backpack. Some guys will attach it directly to their saddle with a clip. There's a few different ways to store this on the way down. And
Okay.
I think everybody does it a little different.
All right, so I'm just gonna wrap it up and put my strap away and put it in my pack or drop it to the ground or whatever.
Yeah,
it
don't
is I
drop
do.
it.
Don't drop it.
Right, because it is cast, and if you hit a rock, it's not made to handle that kind of impact, right?
Good.
So you're better off to not drop it. Lower it down with a rope, store it on your gear, do something like that, but don't drop it.
Got it. Okay. So now I've got my pack, my platform put away, and then I just continue climbing down.
Continue climbing down, take your sticks off as you come down, and make your way to the ground.
Okay. So now I'm safely on the ground. I can undo my little half hitch here, pop my sticks off as I come down, and then do you drop these to the ground? How do you put these away? Do you put them away as you climb? What do you think?
So again, it kind of depends on how you got them up there. I would use the same method on the way back down. So whatever method I used to carry my sticks up, that's how I carry them down. However, there is a small caveat on that. There's about 8 feet of rope here.
Mm-hmm.
So even on your second or third step up, a lot of times you can just hang it by the attachment rope and get it on the ground without having to drop it.
Okay. So I'm back on the ground. I've taken all my sticks off. I'm ready to unhook from my lineman belt, and then I guess I'll just stuff this
Store
away
that
too,
right
right?
back into your sys hauler.
So get it nice and
So it's ready for you for next time.
put together. It's ready to hunt next time I'm ready to hunt. And then I'm going to kind of do what I did on the way in, where I'm going to put this bridge, tighten it back down so that everything's nice and tight, and then I'm pretty much ready to walk out.
You're ready to walk out?
I'm ready to walk back to the truck and go get Waffle House.
Yep. Well, guys, that's a real simple top to bottom. Obviously, there's more detail along the way, and you can check out our other videos in the series to get a little bit more of the fine-tuned details along the way, but it seems like a pretty simple process.
Simple process. I like the 2 ropes, the lineman and the tether. That way you can always be connected to the tree from the time you leave the ground all the way to hunting height
Sure.
and back down, so you're always safe. The accessories for hanging your gear, your bow, your rifle, your crossbow, whatever it is you're hunting with, that seems pretty important. So that's pretty much a whole system of how to saddle hunt from the ground to hunting height.